The Hult Prize recognizes teams. They are the embodiment of the networks of creative cooperation that I believe is the only thing that's really working in the modern world.
The Hult Prize is a student movement for good, and all of these students are combined in a mission of wanting to make the world a better place, not just for themselves, but for every inhabitant, and that is deeply inspiring.
About 10 years ago, I was at a coffee shop in Boston, and I meet this guy who frankly came off as a little crazy, who's talking to me about, changing the world, inspiring a whole generation of students to kind of launch these game-changing startups that are going to make money and do good at the same time. And I thought to myself, that's an amazing idea. It sounds beautiful, but it's never, ever, ever going to work. And then now, 10 years later, he's not only my best friend, I also work for him, and he's actually achieved exactly what he was planning to do at that time when I met him. So it's really amazing.
What if you had $1 million to do something really special? How would that work? That initial idea was brilliant.
It's brilliant because you created this really smart game where you're using everything that's bad about being human and then channeling them to do something really brilliantly good. Do you get it? And I think every year they're perfecting that process. They have a story, they have a dream, they have a future that people are willing to get behind.
Bert Hult and the Hult family saw in Ahmad not only a student with a great idea, but one that could represent them and could convince people like Bill Clinton, people like Mohammed Yunus, to support the effort. Those names that just lit the fire even further. So it's quite remarkable. This young man who's done some amazing work already, and there's no end in sight.
Our North Star is to empower as many students as we can to think differently about impact, creating a sustainable business that can generate revenue while doing good.
Those two things were kept so separate for my entire lifetime, and then all of a sudden, it just made sense.
It just clicked on so many levels for me.
It put the idea in my mind that this was even a possibility to begin with. It was the thing that started the journey. It was the thing that enabled the journey. It's the only reason I'm here now.
Hult Prize is ultimately an inspiration platform. It's called the Hult Prize effect. Don't underestimate the power of this. I left my life to do something new because of the inspiration that I derived from what Hult Prize was all about.
Shifting careers is what we do. The impact of that is it's uncountable. We're trying to celebrate 10 years now, but the most exciting thing is thinking 10 years ahead. All these network effects happening on such an insane magnitude. That is the whole point. The community, that is Hult Prize.
So much of it is about people, face to face. When you are in a community and you can see people, you really drive change.
And that's the most beautiful part, right? When do you see so many people from so many different backgrounds come together and mentor each other?
It's basically a revolution that's really starting within this organization and the people that they touch.
That's the perfect word for it, a revolution.
For us, we always saw it that in the best case, we would change the world through one of these ideas, but in the worst case, we would just change the mindset of hundreds of thousands of students.
The Hult Prize doesn't start and end. It's not a static thing. And that's my real big aha moment that I've had, after a decade, is that the Hult Prize is inside you. And once you get inspired the first time, it never stops. This really is a movement, and I'm so humbled to even say that because I didn't choose it to be a movement. It became that, and it's that dynamic element of our story that I want the world to know is real, and hopefully is here to last forever. Each of them is working towards something bigger, and that bigger thing is the Hult Prize. So where are we going next? If you really look at the fundamental reason why we created the Hult Prize, it was for this very moment in time.
The youth need hope. They need opportunities to participate in the economy, solving the problems of the future, the problems that they face around them every day.
We're excited to launch next year's challenge, which will be on youth unemployment for us, by us.
There's massive youth unemployment, and that problem is only going to be solved through entrepreneurship.
In partnership with Hult International Business School, Steve's going to help us get accredited and launch Hult Prize University, where campus directors around the world will no longer just organize campus events. They will train the next generation of entrepreneurs with an accredited program. We'll be educating nearly 1 million students around the world. And that's our new goal for us, by us.
The Hult Prize inspires them to want to be job creators, not simply job seekers.
It's time we have solutions that really scale and cause momentous impact around the world.
It's been a humbling experience building the Hult Prize over the last decade, and now it's your turn. We can't do it alone. So join us as we lead a generation to change the world.